Summary of the Lucifer Effect by Philip Zimbardo. Introduction. Understanding the nature of evil. Philip Zimbardo, a renowned psychologist, explores how good people can turn evil under certain circumstances. The book is based on his infamous Stanford prison experiment, SPE, and extends its insights to real-world atrocities, such as Abu Ghraib. Zimbardo argues that situational forces and systemic structures play a more significant role in shaping human behavior than individual personality traits. Part 1. The Stanford Prison Experiment, Unmasking the Power of Situations. 1. Origins and setup of the experiment. Conducted in August 1971 at Stanford University. 24 college students were selected and randomly assigned roles of guards and prisoners. A mock prison was set up in the basement of Stanford's psychology building. The study was planned to last 2 weeks, but was terminated in 6 days due to ethical concerns. 2. Transformation of participants. Guards' behavior became cruel, authoritarian, and abusive. Some inflicted psychological torture on prisoners. Prisoners' response became passive, depressed, and obedient. Some showed signs of severe stress and trauma. Dehumanization and de-individuation. The uniform and anonymity fostered loss of identity and moral restraint. 3. Ethical and psychological fallout. Zimbardo himself became absorbed in his role as the prison superintendent. The experiment exposed the dangers of unchecked authority and social roles, raised ethical questions about psychological research and the responsibility of scientists. Part 2. Psychological mechanisms of evil. 4. The power of situations over dispositions. Situational factors, environment, authority, group dynamics, can override moral integrity. Supports the idea that evil is not inherent in individuals, but is often a product of the system. 5. The process of dehumanization. Perceiving others as subhuman makes it easier to justify cruelty, e.g., racial, ethnic, or ideological labeling, common in war, slavery, and genocide, e.g., Nazi Germany, Rwandan genocide. 6. De-individuation and anonymity. Loss of personal identity in a crowd increases the likelihood of immoral behavior. Uniforms, masks, or role-playing encourage detachment from personal accountability. 7. The role of conformity and obedience. Influences like peer pressure and authority figures, e.g., Milgram's obedience study, push people toward harmful actions. People obey authority even when it contradicts personal values. Part 3. Real-world applications from experiments to atrocities. 8. The Abu Ghraib prison scandal. U.S. Soldiers committed severe abuses against Iraqi prisoners in 2003. Zimbardo argues that systemic issues, lack of oversight, poor leadership, stress, enabled these atrocities. Similar psychological mechanisms as in the SPE were at play. 9. The role of leadership in fostering evil. Corrupt or negligent leaders set the stage for abusive behavior. Environments lacking accountability encourage cruelty. 10. Genocide, war crimes, and dictatorships. Historical events like the Holocaust, Khmer Rouge, and ethnic cleansings exhibit similar psychological patterns. Mass atrocities occur when individuals justify evil acts as following orders or duty. Part 4. How to resist and prevent evil. 11. The heroic imagination, becoming a resistor, encourages individuals to recognize and resist situational pressures. Awareness of psychological traps can help prevent complicity in evil acts. 12. Promoting ethical systems and accountability. Transparency, whistleblowing, and checks on authority reduce systemic abuses. Education about human psychology helps individuals and organizations prevent moral corruption. Top 10 quotes from the Lucifer Effect. The line between good and evil is permeable, and almost anyone can be induced to cross it when pressured by situational forces. Evil is knowing better, but willingly doing worse. Human behavior is more influenced by things outside of us than inside. Dehumanization is a process by which people see others as less than human and therefore not deserving of moral consideration. Most of us can undergo significant character transformations when caught up in the crucible of social forces. Nothing is easier than denouncing the evildoer. Nothing is more difficult than understanding him. People do evil when they believe they are merely following orders or acting for the greater good. Situational variables can exert powerful influences over human behavior, more so than we recognize or acknowledge. When individuals feel anonymous, they are more likely to engage in behaviors they would otherwise avoid. The best way to resist evil is to develop an identity as someone who actively fights against it. Conclusion: Lessons from the Lucifer Effect. Zimbardo's work highlights the dangers of blind conformity, unchecked authority, and dehumanization. While the book exposes the darker side of human nature, it also emphasizes the power of resistance, awareness, and ethical responsibility. The key takeaway is that recognizing these psychological mechanisms can help prevent ordinary people from becoming perpetrators of evil.